Buddhism Without Beliefs by Batchelor. The chapter is Friendship. Opening quote: "Just as the dawn is the forerunner of the arising of the sun, so true friendship is the forerunner of the arising of the Noble Eightfold Path." The Buddha. Page 49. Dharma practice is not just a question of cultivating resolve and integrity in the privacy of our hearts. It is embodied in friendships. Our practice is nourished, sustained, and challenged through ongoing contact with friends and mentors who seek to realize the Dharma in their own lives. We were born alone and will die alone. Much of our time is spent absorbed in feelings and thoughts we can never fully share. Yet our lives are nonetheless defined through relationships with others. The body is witness to parents and endless generations of forebears. Language witness to fellow speakers. The most private thoughts witness to those we love and fear. Simultaneously and always, we find ourselves alone with others. We are participatory beings who inhabit a participatory reality, seeking relationships that enhance our sense of what it means to be alive. In terms of Dharma practice, a true friend is more than just someone with whom we share common values and who accepts us for what we are. Such a friend is someone whom we can trust to refine our understanding of what it means to live, who can guide us when we're lost and help us find the way along a path, who can assuage our anguish through the reassurance of his or her presence. While such friendships occur naturally between peers with similar aspirations and interests, certain crucial friendships are also formed with those we respect for having achieved maturity and understanding greater than our own. Such people offer guidance and reassurance through each aspect of their being. The way they move their body and hold our gaze with their eyes, the cadences of their speech, their response to sudden provocation, the way they rest at ease and attend to daily chores. All these things tell us as much as they tell us in words. And we too are called upon to respond in such ways. In this kind of relationship, we are no mere recipients of knowledge. We are invited to interact, to challenge and be challenged. These friends are teachers in the sense that they are skilled in the art of learning from every situation. We do not seek perfection in these friends, but rather a heartfelt acceptance of human imperfection, nor omniscience, but an ironic admission of ignorance. We should be wary of being seduced by charismatic purveyors of enlightenment. For true friends seek not to coerce us, even gently and reasonably, into believing what we are unsure of. These friends are like midwives who draw forth what is waiting to be born. Their task is not to make themselves indispensable, but redundant. These friends are our vital link to the past and future, for they too were nurtured through friendships, in many cases with those who are dead. Dharma practice has survived through a series of friendships that stretches back through history, ultimately to Gautama himself. Sorry if I mispronounced that name. Through friendships, we are entrusted with the delicate thread that joins past with future generations. These fragile, intimate moments are ones of indebtedness and responsibility. Dharma practice flourishes only when such friendships flourish. It has no other means of transmission. And these friends are our vital links to community that lives and struggles today. Through them, we belong to a culture of awakening, a matrix of friendships that expands in ever wider circles to embrace not only Buddhists, but all who are actually or potentially committed to the values of Dharma practice. The forms of this friendship have changed over history. The Dharma has passed through social and ethnic cultures with different ideals of what constitutes true friendship. Two primary forms have emerged: the fellowship model of early Buddhism and the guru-disciple model of later traditions. In both cases, friendship has become entangled with issues of religious authority. Before the Buddha died, he declared that the Dharma would suffice as one's guide. In the early community, friendship was founded in common adherence to the rules of discipline the Buddha devised to support Dharma practice. The community was a fellowship of brotherhood and sisterhood, under the formal guidance of a paternal or maternal preceptor. While the system reflected the hierarchy of an Indian extended family, in which everyone deferred to seniority, the final authority lay not in a person's position in the hierarchy, but in the rules of discipline. True friendship was modeled on the relationships among siblings and between child and parent, with the difference that we all were equal in the eyes of the Dharma and subject to its law. After about 500 years, the Indian guru-disciple model was adopted by certain schools. Here the teacher became a heroic figure to whose will the student surrendered as a means of accelerating the process of awakening. This relationship reflected that between master and servant, or feudal lord and subject. The different degree of power between guru and disciple was utilized as an agent of personal transformation, elements of dominance and submission, and with them the concomitant danger of coercion, came to characterize the notion of true friendship. If, after close examination, you accepted someone as your teacher, then you are expected to revere and obey him. In varying degrees, the authority of the Dharma was replaced by the authority of the Guru, who came in some traditions to assume the role of the Buddha himself. Despite the contrasting nature of these models, in practice they coexisted. As a follower of the Buddha's rules of discipline, a true friend was accountable to the community and the Dharma, but as a guru was impervious to any critique formulated by the deluded mind. Most traditions of Buddhism today represent one of these ideals of friendship or a blend of the two. In contemporary secular, democratic societies, such traditional models of friendship are bound to be challenged. For we may no longer feel at ease in friendships defined by the hierarchy of an extended family, the rule of law, or submission to the will of another. We may no longer feel the need to wear a uniform or in any way sacrifice our ordinariness. Exotic names, robes, insignia of office, titles, the trappings of religion confuse as much as they help. They endorse the assumption of the existence of an elite whose explicit commitment grants them implicit extraordinariness. It is not just different circumstances that raise questions about the nature of true friendship. Of great significance is that we notice the circumstances are different. Historical consciousness itself makes the difference. It is no longer possible to maintain that Dharma practice has remained unaltered since the time of the Buddha. It has evolved and continues to evolve distinctive forms peculiar to the conditions of the time. It has survived precisely because of its ability to respond creatively to change. What features of contemporary life are most likely to affect the concept of true friendship? Mutual respect for the creative autonomy of individual experience would take precedence over submission to the dogmas of a school or the autocratic authority of a guru. The responsibility of a friend would be to encourage individuation, self-reliance, and imagination. Such friendship might be informed by notions such as Martin Buber's I-thou relationship and the French Catholic philosopher Gabriel Marcel's idea of availability for another. Its practice may draw on the experience of psychotherapy, in which a free and protective space allows an encounter that is simultaneously trusting, open, and healing. For learning and training, it may take as its model the relationship of artist and apprentice, in which skills are developed so that creativity can be realized with technical competence and expertise. Whenever Buddhism has become a religion, true friendship has tended to be comprised by issues of power. Both the fellowship and guru-disciple models have given rise to large, impersonal, hierarchic, and authoritarian bodies governed by professional elites. In many cases, these institutions have become established churches, sanctioned and supported by sovereign states. This has often led to rigid conservatism and intolerance of dissent. This process is not inevitable. It is also possible to imagine a community of friendship in which diversity is celebrated rather than censured, in which smallness of scale is regarded as success rather than failure, in which power is shared by all rather than invested in a minority of experts, in which women and men are treated as genuine equals, in which questions are valued more than answers.